Have you ever woken up in the morning and noticed that your eyes felt dry, strained, or maybe your vision was just a little blurrier than it used to be? Or maybe you walked into the kitchen to make yourself a cup of coffee and realized you forgot where you put your keys? Or worse, why you walked into the kitchen in the first place? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of Americans over 60 experience these exact struggles every single day: fading eyesight, memory slips, and that nagging feeling that your body and brain just aren't keeping up the way they used to. But what if I told you that the solution doesn't require expensive treatments, countless supplements, or miracle pills? What if the answer could be as simple as a handful of dry fruits? Yes, dry fruits you can eat before bed that quietly repair your vision and boost your memory while you sleep? This might sound surprising, but it's not just folklore or wishful thinking. Modern science is actually proving what generations before us suspected, that certain dry fruits packed with natural vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants work overnight to restore and strengthen two of the most important parts of your life: your eyes and your brain. And here's the part that will really amaze you. By simply adding 3 specific dry fruits to your nightly routine, you could protect your vision, sharpen your memory, and even improve the quality of your sleep itself. Imagine going to bed knowing that while you rest, your body is quietly healing, your eyesight is being nourished, and your brain is literally building stronger memory connections. That's the power of nature when you know how to use it. Now let me start with a story, because I think stories really help us connect with these truths. My neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, a 74-year-old retired nurse here in the Midwest, used to struggle with reading the fine print on her medication bottles. She wore glasses, but even with them, she noticed her eyes would get tired quickly, especially at night. On top of that, she often joked about her senior moments, forgetting names of people she'd known for years, or misplacing her purse more often than she cared to admit. Her daughter suggested she try adding a handful of almonds and walnuts to her evening snack instead of the usual crackers or cookies. At first, she rolled her eyes. It sounded too simple to be real. But she gave it a try. Within weeks, she noticed her eyes weren't straining as much when she read, and she remembered more of the little things she thought she was losing. By the time I talked to her again a couple of months later, she told me with a smile, "I don't know what magic is in those nuts, but they've given me back a piece of myself." So let's break down why this works. The first dry fruit we need to talk about is almonds. Almonds have been a staple in American kitchens for decades, whether in trail mix, almond butter, or just plain roasted almonds. But what most people don't realize is that almonds are packed with vitamin E, an antioxidant that directly protects the delicate tissues in your eyes. As we age, the cells in our retinas, the part of the eye that captures images, get damaged by oxidative stress. This is just a fancy term for the wear and tear caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that attack healthy cells. Vitamin E, found abundantly in almonds, acts like a shield against that damage. Think of it as sunglasses for your eyes at the cellular level. Research shows that people who consume higher levels of vitamin E have a significantly lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness in seniors. And here's the kicker: eating almonds before bed gives your body the chance to repair your eyes during the night, when they're naturally resting and restoring themselves. But almonds don't just help your vision. They also help your memory. That same vitamin E that protects your eyes also protects your brain cells from oxidative damage. Your brain is made up of billions of neurons that communicate through delicate connections called synapses. These connections are vulnerable to inflammation and free radical damage, both of which increase as we get older. By eating almonds regularly, you're essentially coating those neurons with a protective layer, helping them fire more efficiently and preventing the breakdown that leads to memory loss. In fact, a study from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that people with higher vitamin E intake had slower cognitive decline. That means almonds aren't just a snack. They're a tool for preserving your independence and clarity of mind. Now let's move to the second dry fruit, walnuts. If almonds are like sunglasses for your eyes, walnuts are like rocket fuel for your brain. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, which is essential for brain health. Most of us have heard that omega-3s are good for the heart, but fewer people realize that they're also crucial for the brain. In fact, Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and it needs omega-3s to maintain the flexibility of cell membranes and to support communication between brain cells. Without enough omega-3s, those connections get sluggish like old telephone wires struggling to carry a signal. Walnuts supply the very fat your brain craves, helping to keep your thoughts sharp, your memory strong, and even your mood stable. And the benefits don't stop with the brain. Walnuts also contain compounds that support vision. They're rich in antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect your eyes from harmful blue light, the very light emitted by smartphones, tablets, and televisions that we stare at every evening before bed. By eating a handful of walnuts at night, you're essentially giving your eyes armor against the digital age. And when you think about how many of us end the day scrolling through a phone or watching TV, that protection is more important than ever. The third dry fruit we need to talk about is figs. Now, figs might not be as common in every American household as almonds or walnuts, but they're an ancient fruit with modern-day power. Figs are packed with natural minerals like magnesium and potassium, which improve blood circulation. Why does this matter for your eyes and brain? Because both of these organs rely on a steady supply of oxygen, rich blood, to function. When circulation slows, your vision blurs and your memory lapses. By improving circulation overnight, figs help ensure that your eyes and brain get the nutrients they need while you rest. Figs are also high in natural antioxidants and polyphenols, compounds that reduce inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is one of the leading causes of cognitive decline and vision problems, and figs fight it head-on. Let's pause here for a moment and think about this combination: almonds, walnuts, and figs. 3 simple dry fruits easily available in any American grocery store, affordable and delicious. Taken together before bedtime, they deliver vitamin E, omega-3s antioxidants, and circulation-boosting minerals that directly repair your eyes and strengthen your memory. And the beauty of it all is that you don't have to change your entire diet or lifestyle. You just add a handful of these dry fruits into your nightly routine. Imagine sitting down in the evening, maybe watching your favorite TV show, and instead of grabbing chips or cookies, you enjoy a small bowl of almonds, walnuts, and figs. Then you go to sleep, and while you're dreaming, those nutrients are at work, repairing, restoring, and renewing you. It's like having a team of healers working the night shift inside your body. I know some of you may be wondering, but do I have to eat all 3 at once? Great question. The key is moderation. You don't need a giant bowl. In fact, too many nuts at once can upset your stomach or add unnecessary calories. Instead, aim for a small handful, about 5 to 7 almonds, 2 to 3 walnuts, and 1 or 2 figs. That's it. This small serving gives you the perfect balance of nutrients without overloading your system. And yes, you can eat them together as a mix, or rotate them nightly if you prefer variety. The important thing is consistency. And consistency is where the magic really happens. Most people try something once or twice and expect miracles. But your body works on patterns, not on quick fixes. Just like brushing your teeth once doesn't prevent cavities, eating almonds once won't repair your vision. But eating them regularly, night after night, builds up the protection and healing your eyes and brain need. Over weeks and months, the difference becomes undeniable. Your eyes strain less, you remember more, and you feel more confident in your daily life. That's what this first chapter is all about, understanding the power of these 3 dry fruits and how they specifically target vision and memory. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the science, the stories, and the step-by-step ways you can make this part of your nightly life. But before we move on, let me leave you with this thought: the choices you make tonight shape the person you are tomorrow. And something as simple as a handful of dry fruits could mean the difference between struggling with blurry vision and memory slips, or waking up sharper, clearer, and more in control of your life. Think for a moment about how much we rely on our eyes and memory every single day. From the time you wake up and check the clock, to reading the morning paper, driving to the grocery store, remembering your shopping list, or even recalling your grandchildren's names when they come over for Sunday dinner, our vision and memory are the foundation of daily independence. Yet, these are the very 2 things most seniors fear losing the most. And here's the truth: it doesn't have to be that way. Modern research shows that nutrition, especially from natural foods like dry fruits, can slow down or even reverse much of the decline we assume is just part of aging. That's why eating almonds, walnuts, and figs consistently, especially at night, is such a game changer. Let's dig deeper into almonds first. You've probably heard that carrots are good for your eyes, but did you know that almonds may actually provide a stronger protective effect? Carrots give you vitamin A, which is important, but almonds provide vitamin E and healthy fats that guard your eye cells against the very thing that destroys them: oxidative stress. Think about your car engine. When it runs too long without oil, friction builds, parts wear down, and eventually it breaks. Your eyes are like that engine, constantly exposed to stress from sunlight, screens, and even natural aging. Vitamin E is the oil that keeps things running smoothly, reducing wear and tear so your vision stays clearer for longer. Here in the United States, studies have shown that macular degeneration is one of the top causes of vision loss in people over 65. But researchers also found that people who consumed foods rich in vitamin E, like almonds, had up to a 25% lower risk of severe vision problems. That's not a small number. That's 1 in 4 people who may have avoided blindness just by eating the right foods. Now imagine applying that same logic to your own life. Just by adding a few almonds to your nightly snack, you could be protecting yourself from a future where you can't read your favorite book or see your grandchildren's faces clearly. That's how powerful food can be. And remember, almonds don't just stop at vision, they also impact memory. Vitamin E helps keep brain cell membranes healthy, reducing the risk of cognitive decline. In fact, one long-term study from Rush University in Chicago followed older adults and found that those with higher vitamin E intake had better memory performance as they aged. Think about that. People eating something as simple as almonds had sharper minds than those who didn't. You don't need expensive supplements. You just need to listen to what nature has already given us. Now let's talk more about walnuts, because walnuts are truly in a class of their own when it comes to brain health. You know how doctors always say fish is good for your brain because of the omega-3s? Walnuts are the plant-based version of that brain food. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. And these aren't just healthy fats. They're building blocks for your brain. Your brain cells literally use these fats to repair themselves and to communicate with each other. Without enough omega-3s, your brain becomes like a computer with slow internet. It still works, but everything takes longer and sometimes the connection just drops. With enough omega-3s, your brain stays sharp, fast, and reliable even as you age. One story that really brings this home is of a man named Frank, an 82-year-old retired mechanic from Detroit. Frank prided himself on remembering every detail of every car he ever worked on. But in his late 70s, he started forgetting small things, like what he needed at the hardware store, or even the names of neighbors he'd lived next to for decades. His doctor suggested he increase omega-3 intake, and because Frank didn't like fish, he started eating a handful of walnuts every night before bed. Within months, his daughter noticed he wasn't repeating himself as often. Frank told me himself, "I still forget where I put my screwdriver sometimes, but I feel like the fog has lifted." That's the impact walnuts can have. But walnuts don't just help memory, they also protect your eyes. Remember how I mentioned lutein and zeaxanthin? These are special antioxidants found in walnuts that specifically protect your retinas from damage caused by blue light. And let's be honest, who isn't exposed to blue light these days? Even seniors who don't use smartphones often still watch TV, use tablets to video chat with family, or sit in front of computer screens. That blue light exposure adds up, and without protection, it damages your eyes slowly but surely. Walnuts give your eyes the tools to fight back, to filter out that harmful light, and to keep your vision sharper for longer. Now, figs. Figs are underrated in America, but they shouldn't be. They've been used for thousands of years in Mediterranean diets, and it's no coincidence that people in those regions often live longer, healthier lives. Figs provide a powerful dose of potassium, magnesium, and antioxidants that improve circulation. And good circulation is the lifeline for both your eyes and brain. Imagine a garden hose. If the hose is kinked or the water pressure is low, the plants don't get the nourishment they need, and they wither. That's exactly what happens in your body when circulation is poor. Your brain cells don't get oxygen, your eyes don't get nutrients, and everything weakens. But figs improve circulation, ensuring that your eyes and brain get exactly what they need, right when they need it. A great example is my Aunt Susan, who lives down in Florida. She's 76 and still plays bridge every week with her friends. A few years ago, She was struggling with eye strain and often joked about her Swiss cheese memory. Her granddaughter suggested figs, and Susan figured she had nothing to lose. She started eating 2 figs before bed along with her usual walnuts. After a few weeks, she said her eyes didn't feel as tired at night, and she remembered more details in her card games. For her, it wasn't just about health. It was about enjoying life again, about staying competitive and sharp with her friends. That's what these simple foods can give back to you: quality of life. And let's not forget one more important detail: eating these dry fruits at night may actually enhance their benefits. Why? Because your body goes into repair mode while you sleep. Your brain consolidates memories, your eyes rest and rebuild, and your circulation redistributes nutrients. By eating almonds, walnuts, and figs before bedtime, you're essentially supplying the exact raw materials your body needs right when it's doing the most important repair work. It's like giving construction workers all the tools and materials they need right before they start building. The result: stronger vision, sharper memory, and more energy when you wake up. Another reason nighttime consumption is powerful has to do with blood sugar stability. Many seniors struggle with dips in blood sugar that cause restless sleep or grogginess in the morning. Dry fruits in moderation provide slow, digesting nutrients that stabilize blood sugar overnight. That means not only do you get the vision and memory benefits, but you also sleep more soundly and wake up more refreshed. Better sleep, better brain, better eyes, it's all connected. Now, I know some of you may be skeptical. Maybe you're thinking, can a handful of dry fruits really make that much of a difference? And that's fair. We've all been sold countless miracle cures over the years. But this isn't about miracles. It's about science and consistency. Dozens of studies show that regular consumption of nuts and figs improves cognitive function, reduces risk of macular degeneration, and even lowers the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And when you add in the fact that they're delicious, affordable, and available at any local grocery store, it just makes sense. Why wouldn't you want to give your body this advantage? Here's something else to think about. In America, we often look for complicated solutions: new medications, new gadgets, expensive procedures. But sometimes the best answers are the simplest. A small bowl of almonds, walnuts, and figs before bed could do more for your eyes and brain than the latest superfood powder or overpriced supplement. And you don't have to change your entire lifestyle to make this work. You don't need to stop eating the foods you love. You just need to add this one habit to your nightly routine. That's it. Think about the peace of mind that comes with that, knowing that when you go to bed tonight, you're not just resting, you're repairing. You're feeding your eyes and brain exactly what they need to stay sharp, strong, and independent. And isn't that what we all want as we age? To stay independent, to remember the moments that matter, and to see the faces of the people we love clearly. That's the gift these dry fruits can give you. So as you prepare for bed tonight, instead of reaching for cookies, chips, or sugary snacks, reach for almonds, walnuts, and figs. Just a handful, not too much. Make it a ritual, something you look forward to. Over time, this small habit will reward you in ways you can see and feel. Literally. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. By now, you understand that almonds, walnuts, and figs aren't just snacks. They're nature's way of protecting your eyes and sharpening your memory as you age. But the real question is, how do you actually bring this into your life in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and enjoyable? Because here's the truth: health isn't about one-time fixes. It's about habits. And when those habits are simple, delicious, and rewarding, they're the ones that actually last. So let's start with something practical. Imagine your evening routine right now. Maybe you watch the evening news, spend some time on the phone with family, or read a book before heading to bed. For most people, that routine also includes some kind of snack. Maybe it's a cookie, some ice cream, or even nothing at all. But what if you replaced that small snack with a handful of almonds, walnuts, and figs? You wouldn't just be eating. You'd be investing in your eyesight, your memory, and your independence. Let me share a story about a couple from Ohio, Bill and Martha, both in their early 80s. They had always been health conscious, but like many seniors, they found themselves losing confidence in their balance, struggling to remember small details, and complaining about eye strain when reading. Their daughter, a nurse, suggested they try adding almonds, walnuts, and figs to their nightly routine. Bill laughed at the idea, saying, "We've been eating our way through life for 80 years. What difference will a handful of nuts make now?" But Martha decided to give it a try. Within 3 months, she noticed she could read for longer without her eyes feeling so tired. Bill admitted he wasn't forgetting things as often, especially small things like where he left his glasses. Their doctor confirmed their cholesterol had improved too, which is another bonus from these dry fruits. Bill told me later, "I should have listened to Martha sooner. She's always right." That's the kind of simple, real-life change we're talking about. Now let's look at the science behind why eating these dry fruits at night works so well. When you sleep, your body goes into repair mode. Your brain consolidates memories, your eyes rest and rebuild from the strain of the day, and your circulation shifts to focus on recovery. By giving your body nutrients like vitamin E from almonds, omega-3s from walnuts, and antioxidants from figs before bed, you're essentially handing your body the exact materials it needs at the exact right time. It's like giving a construction crew everything they need to build a house right before they start working. They can do the job better and faster. And let's be clear about something else. This isn't about perfection. You don't need to measure out exact amounts or follow complicated instructions. A small handful of almonds, a few walnuts, and 1 or 2 figs are enough. This isn't about eating pounds of nuts or changing your entire diet. It's about consistency. Small amounts every night will add up over weeks and months into noticeable differences in how you feel and function. Now, for those who might be thinking, "I've tried eating healthy before and it never lasts," here's the secret: make it enjoyable. Dry fruits can be eaten in so many ways that you'll never get bored. You can eat them plain, add them to a small bowl of yogurt, sprinkle them on oatmeal, or even blend them into a smoothie. Figs, especially, can be sliced and paired with a little cheese for a sweet and savory treat. The point is, you can make it delicious while still making it healthy. There's also something comforting about rituals. When you turn your nightly dry fruit snack into a ritual, it becomes something you look forward to, not something you feel forced to do. I know a woman named Helen from Kansas City who calls it her evening gift. Every night after dinner, she sits down with her husband, pours a small cup of tea, and enjoys her handful of almonds, walnuts, and figs. She says it feels like she's not only treating herself but also investing in her future. And the best part, her husband joined her, and now they do it together, turning a health practice into a moment of connection. That's the beauty of habits like this. They can strengthen more than just your body. Now let's talk about one more critical point: prevention versus treatment. In America, we often wait until there's a problem before taking action. We wait until vision blurs, memory falters, or balance weakens before looking for solutions. But doctors say over and over, prevention is always easier, cheaper, and more effective than treatment. By eating almonds, walnuts, and figs consistently, you're preventing problems before they ever show up. You're making sure your brain cells stay sharp, your eyes stay strong, and your independence remains intact. That's the power of prevention. And here's something else you may not know: these dry fruits also fight inflammation. Inflammation is like a silent fire in the body, damaging tissues and accelerating aging. It's linked to everything from arthritis to Alzheimer's. But almonds, walnuts, and figs are all packed with anti-inflammatory compounds. That means while you sleep, they're putting out the fire, cooling down the damage, and giving your body a chance to heal. That's why so many seniors who add these foods notice not just better memory and vision, but also less joint pain and more energy. Everything is connected. Think of it this way: if you could buy a pill that improved your memory, protected your vision, reduced your risk of Alzheimer's, lowered your cholesterol, improved circulation, and helped you sleep better, how much would you pay for it? Hundreds, thousands. And yet that pill already exists in the form of 3 simple dry fruits you can buy at any grocery store for just a few dollars. The solution is already in your hands. You just have to make the choice to use it. Now I want to bring you back to a thought I shared earlier. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Do you see yourself reading the morning paper clearly, remembering your grandchildren's birthdays, walking confidently without fear of falling? Or do you see yourself struggling to remember simple things, relying more on others, and feeling frustrated by the limitations of your body? The choice you make today Something as small as adding almonds, walnuts, and figs to your nightly routine will help determine that future. And the good news is it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your body responds to nutrition. Change can begin tonight. Let me give you one last story that always sticks with me. A man named Robert, 84 years old, from Arizona. Robert had been a school principal for 30 years and prided himself on his sharp mind. But as he got older, he noticed he was forgetting names of former students and even close friends. His daughter suggested he try a nightly routine of walnuts, almonds, and figs. Robert didn't expect much, but within months he noticed a difference. He told me, "I may not remember every name from 30 years ago, but I feel like my mind is mine again." And when it came to his eyes, he was still reading his favorite mystery novels without extra strain. Robert said it best, "It's not about getting younger. It's about staying yourself as you age." That's what these foods can help you do. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you go to bed, prepare a small bowl with a handful of almonds, a few walnuts, and 1 or 2 figs. Make it your new ritual. Do it again tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. Within weeks, you'll start to notice the difference. Your eyes will feel less tired. Your memory will feel sharper. Your sleep may even feel deeper. And over time, those small changes will add up to a healthier, more confident you. And before you leave, I want to remind you, this is just the beginning. On this channel, I share tips, habits, and natural solutions every week that can change the way you age. So don't stop here. Subscribe, stay connected, and keep coming back. Because your best years are not behind you. They're right in front of you, waiting for you to live them fully with strong vision, sharp memory, and steady confidence. Your health, your independence, and your joy are worth every effort. And the good news is the effort is small, just a handful of dry fruits before bed. Do this and you'll give yourself the gift of a brighter, sharper, and more vibrant tomorrow.